points in Vortex and Chilling Touch and using the cold feet actually.
Yeah, especially when you have someone like a Tusk on your team that can actually close that gap and get you on in there with the damage and the lockdown to make the cold feet proc, then sure. But with the cold feet, what has he gone for level 1? Nothing just yet, so Buffney holding on to that skill point. So we switch over to that. Go, everything looking good. Everything looking fine.
Well, I've just crashed again.
Lovely stuff. Now, bo3 played a hell of a lot of puck in the past, and along with Legion Commander, this was like one of his signature heroes, I feel. Back in the day when Cloud9, you know, they were sort of trying all these fun things, back when puck was a big popular mid-hero, bo3 would be thrown into the off-lane, and his build was null phase boots, if I remember correctly, and he'd get the phase boots and he'd pretty much dominate the lane he was in. Hey, though, this,
He basically invented phase boots on puck, I would say.
Okay. Is Kaipi going to escape this? He's ticking over. He showed himself again. They've seen him. They know where he is, and he's dead. First blood. No. Yeah, rejects to kill him. They have been dragged pretty far off their lanes, though. They always want to fly on the mid lane with the Bane. Try and get in there. Trading hits with Cancel, but the Windrun allows Cancel to get a few more hits in there. Brain Sap, though, is such an effective ability early on. Now with that reduced mana cost down to 70. Always want to fly can actually trade relatively effectively. So what have we got lanes-wise? Buffney down in bot lane with Bisa, AA and Slark, so they've got Pounce into Cold Feet if they want it. They've also got that Chilling Touch, which is incredibly potent on this Slark. Keep my eye up on top lane a second. Nope, but they're up against Gorat to the Magnus, who cannot skewer out. He's going to have a little bit of an issue with that one. Mid lane, Queen of Pain, Iceberg up against Cancel, Wind Ranger, Snowball up to top though. Always want to fly Court, turns back to Brain Sap, and bo3 dropping low. Phase Shift is there, and Come With Me cannot go in and find it. bo3 dead. They look for the kill. Final dagger, not enough. Salved up, and Vanscore didn't want to take any more hits from the tower, so they won't get the kill on Bone. But he does go through a couple of salves there. Come With Me running low on the regen. But so is this lane up at top. Always want to fly Bane, Artez on your Phantom Assassin, and Vanscore the Winter Wyvern. Stuff.
I've crashed 3 times in a row. I actually at this point I don't know what to say. I get into the game, I look for 10 seconds, and I'm out.
Maybe try restarting Steam, restarting your P. Just restart everything. Like, I don't know. Dota 2 is a finicky beast at the moment. Come With Me got his observer ward down, so he's got the good vision over on Vanscore, who flies over the ice shards. bo3 not going to go for this one, and Come With Me has nothing left. He's got no snowball, no shards, no life, nothing except the shovel to dig his own grave. Meanwhile, up at top, Rune Spot. Oh god, Iceberg. 8 seconds until Blink. Always when a fly's going to come in here and try and save you, and there's no power shot out from the Wind Ranger. Meanwhile, down at bot lane. Gorat has the DD rune. His bottle is available and ready, and he'll be able to sustain himself down here as well.
It's a familiar script from game 1. Don't want to jinx anything, but Come With Me is starting with the deaths really early on. And you have to wonder if he's maybe going to go a bit on tilt if he doesn't turn things around. He's going in mid. He will get a kill here, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's that turnaround that is also important, to get some work done instead of just constantly having the work done to you. That can really cause some serious tilting.
Well, if there's any tilting going on, I think Iceberg might be having some words with Vanscore. Because Iceberg TP'd towards mid, and then he got hit by the Cold Embrace, and it cancelled his TP. But now he has to walk and blink all the way back towards middle lane, so... Bit of an awkward situation there in the TeamSpeak, I think, between those two players if anything's going on. But always when a fly will come to back him up. The Queen of Pain and Bane towards the middle lane. With Come With Me, bo3 now looking towards Artez. The shards are thrown. No more damage coming out.
Come With Me has been active all over the map early on. First 2 moves, not so successful. Third one, successful. Now it looks like he's going to plant himself in bo3's lane and just... Well, Ancient Apparition and Slark actually combining to kill Mag at the bot lane. A fairly straightforward kill actually if you hit the pounce, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like the Cold Feet and the Chilling Touch were both used too. But back at the top lane, always want to fly, sneaking around. He's still only level 1 at the moment. He might be waiting. Yeah, he's going to get that level 2. He's got the Nightmare. Now he might go for a kill. But against the dual lane, made to set up for a kill doesn't actually work that well because they can kind of decide when to wake each other up.
Snowball, they can phase shift. They've got so much mobility and displacement here. Got to actually go on any of it. Now, Slark is 19 and 2 with a kill to his name. This guy, Isa. Actually, he doesn't have a kill. He's got the assist. But still, he's farming well. He's down here looking pretty hot. Goretz, he's not going to get the rune at bot lane, so his bottle is still full. He's still looking okay. This Slark can become a massive, massive nuisance for CIS Reject. If you blow your ultis on any other hero like the Puck or the Wind Ranger, and Slark is then able to kind of jump in and clear up the remnants of a team fight, he can go
top lane.
kind of untouched.
Come with me throughout the ice shards. I thought he might start a fight, but they decided against it.
Jump.
Yeah. So I actually agree with you. Slark could get pretty scary. There's quite a lot actually to control him in the enemy team. Slark's that kind of top lane. The fight is happening now.
I'm pretty sure you're dead here. Always want to fly. Nightmares him up. Gonna try and cancel this off. Bone 7. Vanscore, hit him, Nightmare. No, he tried, but he couldn't. And it always want to fly now. He's gonna give up his own life as well. Shackles, shot. Nope, with power shot and the orb. They'll find that kill. Iceberg is here though. He's level 5, not level 6 yet. The final right click out from the neutral creep will finish off the Wind Ranger. And now the snowball onto Artez. Can't dodge, can't evade the orb. KP find themselves a bunch of kills up on the top lane. Iceberg hit level 6, but he's got no mana for the Sonic Wave. He doesn't even need it though with the right clicks out. Finish it with physical damage.
Burn 7 did very well to finish off the first Scream of Pain after Iceberg arrived. Otherwise he wouldn't have got his spells off. They probably don't make the kill they make. He just dies a lot faster, so I think well played by Bone 7 on the pack there. It's interesting 2 wards actually placed by the Dire. Guess, is this one? Okay, this one's newer. The one at top green was there a lot earlier. Because otherwise I would say they're both kind of securing a very similar region of the map. I suppose just trying to deal with the task rotations, but Tusk has just been standing in that off lane for quite some time now.
Slark, Wind Ranger, and your Queen of Pain all hitting level 6. The Assassin is halfway towards that one though. When those crits start coming out, that's the real strength of this hero. But what kind of build actually do we want from the PA? She kind of needs a BKB here to deal with the silences and things like that, but early one maybe is not going to be the best. A farming build, Battle Fury not vital because you have the Empower from Goretz, so I guess you go for the stats build, like Treads Drums, try and build yourself up as beef you can, then maybe even an S and Y or something like that, just try and get the stat efficiency out. Agnes of course goes straight for the Blink. Queen of Pain would be good if you can get it on time. Aghanim Scepter is going to be great for the team fight comp that you have. And now,
Queen of Pain.
Snowball, Shackle Shot as well. They don't have enough though to lock her down, and with the blink away, she's got a Sonic. Oh god. Cancel, run, hide as far as you can, but the Nightmare's there. Skewer, Shockwave, down you go, and come with me. You are stuck, my friend, up on this high ground. Shards, not gonna do too much. Iceberg takes a chunk of the damage. He's got a Sonic Wave, orb over. Oh, could blink away. No Waning Rift out from your Puck. And come with me, is still up here. He can snowball down to the creep wave, but not if you're finished off by Iceberg's Quap.
I think Come With Me hesitates a bit there. Not sure if he can help the Wind Ranger. If he runs for the hills immediately, he probably gets away. But it's one of those tricky situations where, you know, you can't tell. So he ran back towards, then back away, then back towards, then back away, and then by the time his teammate's dead, goes for Wind Ranger's back in. That's a Shackle Shot, and Bone 7's diving in on Always Wanna Fly. I don't think they can make a kill though.
Power Shot misses. Maybe for that hits, they can get a few more, you know, physical hits in there to take down that Bane, but they couldn't quite off the mark. Meanwhile though, Isa got Treads, Magic Stick, Quelling Blade, no Midas just yet. And I'm wondering, do you go for the Midas this game, or you just go straight? He's got his Ring of Ackle and his Magic Wand fully complete now. I guess you can just go straight into your Shadow Blade or your Blink, and judging by the CIS Reject lineup, getting the Shadow Blade into Silver Edge, I feel, is going to be like the build here against the Phantom Assassin, because otherwise, you don't have anything early game other than magic damage to actually kill her off.
Yeah, I think that makes good sense. There's also, speaking of that, there's an interesting combination of Winter Wyvern and Phantom Assassin, because if you call to brace your Phantom Assassin, she's still going to have her evasion, right? And then... Oh, wait, no, those are the same thing. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you don't take physical. You take magic damage, but not physical. I sometimes get caught up in that as well.
They do the same thing. They don't do the opposite things. That's just a.
You don't get the double value. You just get the singular cold embrace value where you take no physical damage.
Okay, well, to turn attention to something I was actually right about, the Ancient Apparition is maxing cold feet, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the pounce, the snowball, the shackle, they've got tons. I mean, even the coil out from the puck is a good way of actually locking people down for the cold feet. Artez, the right clicks, they do almost nothing. Got 3 hits out of 6 or 7 there onto the PA. Vanscore, though, is in a ton of trouble. Still down on the low ground in the river. And off there by your puck and your tusk.
Well, the game's definitely started differently to the previous game. Certainly feels a lot more even at the beginning, whereas in the previous game there were very early signs that one team would snowball to victory. And well, speaking of snowball, that's going to save bo3 or will come with me's life, but only for a little while, I think.
Iceberg should finish that one off. bo7, orb over. Yep, jumps to it. Ice. Oh god, there's a waiting rift. He's stick charged up, and Iceberg, does he realize? He does. Vanscore is here to save the day. bo7 not going to be able to deny himself with neutrals. Yeah, Ice Blast off the mark. There we go. Goret starting bot lane. The Sluck with the AA once again. And Money with their combo.
Yeah, so exactly to illustrate the point I was making before the fighting starts, the game feels very back and forth. It feels we haven't had a decisive series of events yet, or that important skirmish that starts to define the dynamic. I'm still not quite sure who's going to emerge from the end of the lane stage with the lead.
Yeah, me neither. Queen of Pain, has she decided? Yeah, she's going Orchid. And I really felt that if she was going to get a good start in this game, 4-0-2 now with 4,400 net worth, a good 700 ahead of that Wind Ranger now. Orchid's the way to go. Against all of these heroes, Orchid is like the item. Blink Dagger is, what, 1,400 away for your Magnus. He can farm himself away through the jungle a little bit. And the PA is going for the stat build. The Tread drums, but Ice Blast Snowball, the nuke combo is here. I was a little bit worried that they didn't have enough damage to actually bring her down multiple times during the laning phase, but with Ice Blast and that actual jump-in ability, they've got so much mobility on this top lane. Between Snowball, Illusory Orb, the long-range artillery out from your Ancient Apparition.
Oh, Invisible Wind Ranger.
Vanscore, in. You're dead. You accept it at this point.
Yep, and I mean, if we're doing the correct analysis, what I was getting wrong earlier, so PA's got evasion against physical attacks, Wyvern can heal against physical attacks, but all that spell damage coming out from the Puck and the Tusk and the AA ulti and the Wind Ranger power shot, always going to do the trick. Well, come with me, way behind enemy lines.
I'm sorry, did you say?
Buying time, that's what he's doing. Buying time. 1, 5, and 7, but this time he's got a whole bunch of assists to his name, rather than the last game where, the Undying didn't do so great. Block, Shadowblade is going to be the pickup. I really hope.
Well, there's another AA ulti heading either mid or top. I think it's going mid. Shackle.
Creep. Lane creep even got in the way.
If that Shackle latches, that's definitely a kill on Iceberg. So I think a fair attempt going for it there. And Bane Elemental's about to hit level 6. Magnus is getting close to Blink Dagger, so these are important tools for CIS rejects to turn things around, and I say turn things around because right now it feels a little bit like Kaipi have an advantage in terms of aggression and getting these kills, and thinking of which, Vanscore's in trouble again.
Oh boy, Ice Blast, that'll finish him off, if he's not dead already. Oh, there we go, Ancient Apparition seals that one up. But yeah, like Goret, farm in the jungle, that's what you have to do at this point, you need the blink on him. Fiend's Grip, just hit by that always want to fly a Bane Elemental. Iceberg, still a fair way away from his Orchid. The thing is, it feels a lot later than it is though. It's 13.5 minutes into the game. With all of the action up on that top lane, it does actually feel like, 20 minutes in. The PA has a lot of room for improvement. A lot of room to actually farm herself up. The Empower is being leveled up. It's up to 2 now. So once they get all of these tools, like you were saying, they're actually flourish pretty nicely as long as they can land. Oh god, Iceberg. You tried to TP, but it looks like you might just be dead. You can blink away, but you're going to be snowballed at the right time with a waiting rift, and down you go. Vanscore is trapped under his own tower. The Blast not going to hit onto cancel. And come with me. He wants to chase this. Won't be able to stop the Ice Dragon from flapping over the hills. Bot lane, they tried to kill Always Wanna Fly as well. Bisa still wants in. He's hunting. He's looking for it. He knows there's two supports here behind this tier 1 in between the tier 2. And in comes Come With Me, Snowball forward. Always Wanna Fly caught. No time to brain snap. But they've got the RP with the Winter's Curse. They've got them both trapped in. Bisa just pops this off, turns and says, right, there's one. Here's another. Van score down to that Dark Pact. And Goras, the damage output. Bisa just crushing people here. Ice Blast not going to do a whole bunch, but Artez, you've jumped into the middle of 4. Got nuke damage galore. Artez pumped up by the snowball. And he thought he was safe on the tier 2.
Artez has had a really tough start to this game. We very rarely see him with a bad start when we watch this team. He almost always has excellent farm and a positive KDR at the start, and he's got neither of the two in this case. So, yeah, we talked about the big pickups. Queen of Pain will get to Orchid soon. Mag's got Blink soon. Bane's not at level 6, but they need to actually, show something for it, because otherwise the game is becoming more and more, if you actually look at the net worth graph incline, it's really going Kaipi's favor, and Iceberg goes to enemy jungle, looks for something, but I think just gonna, show a little caution there, not sure what he's running into. From what we could tell, he could probably make a kill, but he doesn't know that.
Little devil, but look at this utilization of the Radiant Jungle. Bisa just goes from camp to camp, farms it all up. Cancel is getting close to his Aghanim Scepter, but I'm... Okay, he's going to go straight into Ags. I was wondering if it was booster into Blink, but... Oh god. Phase shift at the right time. Always want to fly the attack animation, or the cast animation even, on that Fiend's Grip. It's a little bit too much. Catch the puck. And now they know. Know there's wards placed here, or they know that the Bane is still here? Ice Blast is going to fly actually and miss out on Artez. Ice Shards always want to fly, caught. Snowball will go forward. Oh good, he might mess himself up, but the Orb is still here with a punch up. Bane is trapped, healed now. Vanscore, you've got to curse, you've got to throw it. He gets it down, always want to fly, he's going to get the brain snap down. They've got the combo. One's dead already, the Tusk is out, and Bone 7, Orb is ready. He's got the face shift in 2 seconds time. He can get this ready and comboed up. He jumps over the cliff and far away, but not far enough. Artez and Iceberg, they've got the blinks over. Bisa gets a counter kill onto that Bane Elemental though. Now he's on the hunt looking for more, but oh goodness, Wind Ranger, what have you walked yourself into? There's an RP, but it's not in time. Blink already extended.
Bisa's just on the back lines, taking on supports. Both of them died just to the slog.
The exact scenario that I was worried about though. You use 3 of your big ultis, but then you've got nothing left. You have the RP remaining to control up this Slark, but you can't get in range of him because he's just cleaning up, right? He's killing hero after hero in the back lines because he knows that he can walk in with pretty much impunity. There's nothing that's going to stop him. The tower doesn't really hit him for that much when he's leaping around with that pounce. The Shadow Blade, the drums, tank him up and give him the mobility and escape mechanisms that he needs. And
the thing is, always want to fly, try to actually ulti him, or does Vanscore get dived here? I don't know.
Well, the sentry's down, so the CBs are there. He jumps away. It's a nightmare, but it's not going to be in time. It looks like Bisa should be fine.
Since Always Wanna Fly got level 6, both his Fiend's Grips have actually been Slark attempts, and if Slark gets the pack timing right, it just takes off the Fiend's Grip. So it's really big if you can get that Fiend's Grip on Slark, because holding a Slark in place for 5 seconds is a very difficult thing to do generally. But it's also a very big risk. If that's where you want to throw your Fiend's Grip, you need to knock it through by the ulti, the Shadow Blade, and the Pact. It needs to be like right after he's used the Pact, and you know that he can't go invisible. Then you go for the Fiend's Grip. If you attempt it just like straight up, usually a good Slark player is going to dodge you and just kill you straight up.
Team, where are you heading? Silver Edge, I think, is not far away from this Slark, who gets dagger critted up there. He's got 300 gold in the bank, but oh my goodness, always want to fly Vanscore. You've got your ultis, but you're going to get found instantly. Blink forward, a Waning Rift and Dream Coil. Bone 7 on the money with the combo. Down they go, 2 of them dead already. Artez, you can't TP out there. With me has perfect vision. The blink, the crit, Artez, he focused down and finished off. A double kill out for cancel. Bot lane Goratz and mid lane Iceberg, they're trying to find value on the map, but the TPs, they're just too quick. They'll defend their tier 1s as well as taking the tier 1 up at top. KP, 21 to 10 right now, 18 minutes in. They look unstoppable this game compared to the absolute paddling they got last.
Yep, CIS Rejects I think judged correctly. They rotated both supports to defend Artez at the top lane, but they didn't expect the entire enemy team to already be waiting in a smoke gank in their jungle. And speaking of waiting, Vanscore, Bisa's season.
Oh, come with me, doesn't get anything off, no punch, no snowball, nothing. Visa, you talking about him up top lane ban score? There we go, he sees the opportunity to take out that kill, but Wind Ranger is the trade-off.
Here's the Fiend's Grip, Slock's Quartz. I don't know if anything can actually get here though to kill Beast. He's got no mana at all.
He's got 3 stick charges and then to Intreads. Maybe he can Shadow Blade with that, but Orchid up, there we go, big kill. Absolutely massive for Iceberg. With the Orchid, he's now up to 700 gold, and his next item is actually well on its way. So Bisa, who seemed unstoppable the past couple of minutes, finally put in his place. CIS Rejects, how much did they get? Yeah. 25, that's a 3k gold swing for CIS Rejects, even though it's a, I guess it's a 2-for-1 trade-off there, but Wind Ranger and Slark, the 2 big heroes being taken out.
This is what I was talking about before. Bane Elemental is it's a very difficult hero to Fiend's Grip, the Slark. But if you do get the Fiend's Grip off, it's almost always guarantees the kill, because after that there's the Nightmare, your team's going to join you. It's just so much control for such a long amount of time that I think Slark just needs to be constantly aware. And diving a bit too deep, not having the pact ready, not having the mana for it, I think actually goes down. He actually tried to TP out right in front of the tower inside his ulti. Didn't last long enough.
Slark is very mana reliant. No, all of his spells pretty low. Well, his 2 main spells really low cooldowns. The Shadow Blade, those 1 charges mean the world to him. If he can't cast a Pounce to escape or a Dark Pact to debuff or the Shadow Blade to run himself around, then he's not a tanky ass hero. You know, he's a very delicate little fish man, and he needs the protection of his items, definitely. So we'll
okay, always want to fly.
Bane. First, Shackle. That's who. Cancel, playing the role of Han Solo there, straight onto the Bane Elemental, and come with me. He was in position just in case anything went wrong, as well as the rest of the team, but they don't know where the puck and the AA are. Our side could be caught out by this, and Bone, oh god, they've got vision of them coming around from the side with Observer Ward up as well. Bone 7, blink, there's the silence of the Dream Coil and Iceberg. You're caught, you're dead, you're finished off with the Ice Blast. Come with me even comes in with a snowball and tries to trap in Van Score. Clips over the edge, empty of his own ramp.
Artiz and Guards are trying to split push that mid lane, but there's going to be a bunch of TPs in and they need to get out.
Blink. Get themselves far away. Is it far enough? Bisa, drum charges. Is there a stun at the Shackle at the last second? Artiz, no, it's super unfortunate. 3,000 gold up on your Slark now. Let's see it. Show us the money. Bot lane, holy crap, what's going on down here? AA kills off the Winter Wyvern. Come with me, we'll trade his life. Goretz. That RP and the Fiend's Grip though. 2 big ultis for 1 kill on a support task.
Burn 7 once more. Slark's coming around the back.
Oh, Ice Blast off the mark, but Bisa, you're right. Straight in there. Good waiting rift. And this is where you start to look at the CIS Rejects roster really crumbling. Because the Slark is 7-1 and 6. He's got a ton of gold. And if they can pick you off like this over and over again without you being able to use your combination of spells, you know, efficiently, reliably, collectively, then what's the chance? Like, okay, 1 big fight here, 2 big fights here from CIS Rejects. It's money. They get a ton of gold, they can take tier 1s, which they haven't taken. They can maybe take a Roshan. But at this point, it's stuff they need to do. You know, in sort of 10 minutes ago or something like that, it would have been nice to get the big team fights out and get the lead and try and pressure the map a little bit. But in this situation, they're behind. And when you start getting these sort of nervous situations where you need to land the perfect RP, the perfect curse, the perfect everything, and chain your spells so perfectly, it actually gets super nerve-wracking, because sometimes you don't want to go in unless you have that 5-man RP, and then you miss out on opportunities where maybe you can kill the Slark and the Wind Ranger, maybe you can kill a couple of heroes in chase. Things definitely do suddenly go up in the air for CIS Rejects.
Yeah, it's tough for them, but I will say this, if Kaipi tried to force the high ground too early, or even the rush, suddenly it's not that tough. And if you do see a big RP, a 4 or 5-man RP, or a 4 or 5-man Winter's Curse, it's going to lead into whichever one wasn't used first. And with both those, you know, stacked one after the other, with the PA, with Empower, and the Queen of Pain ulti, like, I think it's very possible for CIS Reject to win a team fight. They just needed to be in a position where they can really catch that many people with their AoE. And I think, therefore, it's pretty intelligent for KP to not force the objectives too early on in this game.
Hirosha, is this heading through the Radiant Jungle here for CIS Rejects? They're gonna walk into Bisa. No, not quite. They know they're coming up the hill. Oh, goodness. How did they know?
I don't know.
Did they catch
Slock is a really good hero at breaking enemy smokes as well, because you just get away around the corner and then you're super fast. And
Does he still
so
have,
a lot of the time when
still have extended night vision? They changed that.
I'm not too sure. A lot of the time, if your smoke breaks, you can just jump forward and find whoever was there, but Slock's not really that kind of hero. You're not going to kill him if your smoke breaks on him usually.
Very, very tough. But that smoke, maybe they could have tried Roshan, maybe they could have gone for something like that, but Iceberg wants to finish off his BKB at this point. Bane still has the gem, that are able to go around de-warding, but Tusk with the gem, Slock with the kind of activation of his ultimate. Hey guys, there's wards over here, they know where I am. It's just so great for limiting the vision of CIS rejects, who really rely heavily on having vision over their opponents. Get that jump,
Yep.
to get their big ultimates out.
There's really, I feel like the route back into the game for CIS rejects is almost entirely dependent on KP prematurely forcing an objective, whether it's a rush, a tower, high ground, just grouping up in a bad way and giving CIS rejects incredible value from the skill set they have, because CIS rejects are not getting that value from the items that they have. Very clear, they're very far behind when it comes to gold. And Artez just
10k.
Artez is, I mean, it's so rare to me. Whenever I watch this team, Artez is the first in the net worth, pretty much always, and he's nowhere near the top in this game. He's only slightly ahead of his Magnus.
Yeah, in every single game that I see him, whether it be Wraith King or your Huskar, they always give him 15 minutes of pretty much time. You know, do what you want, just sit on the safe lane, farm and go and, you know, play your game. And then when it comes time, he gets that call that says, right Batman, it's time to go and save Gotham, and he comes and joins the fights. This game, he's had to try and save himself. For the first 10 minutes, he was put under so much pressure, and the Tusk, he hasn't had that free farm chance.
KP need to be careful. They don't want to give that chance I was talking about, that bunch up for the initiation.
Well, they've got Slock and Windranger in there. Who are they going for first? Well, there's bo3. Shackle shot over onto Iceberg. The Sonic Wave will not do that much, and the AA gets his ultimate down with the reverse polarity. Come with me, he's the only one caught. Iceberg and Cancel fighting over on the side, but Iceberg's gonna be the one that drops here with a gem over on him as well. Meanwhile, Bisa is clearing up over on the sidelines. Cancel still fighting through it all. And CIS Rejects just could not find the opening. They couldn't find their ultimate. The right time on the right place.
Artez is fine. He gets away. He blinks out. But it's well played by KP to recognize they can't all stay in the pits, and they actually split up. There were only 2 in the pits, and 2 off to one side, 1 off to another side. And they're sufficiently far ahead that if they get caught out a bit split up, they won't be punished for that. It's the only thing they'll be punished for is if they get caught out grouped together. So that's the name of the game. Every time you approach an objective, just make sure you're reasonably split. And there's a whole lot of drawing on the map now from CIS Rejects, because I think they thought enemy team's rushing, we have a good lineup to fight at rush, things should go better. Probably the players busy discussing how the enemy team was actually split up. So I was going here, he was going there, that's what happened.
In that situation, you know, maybe it would have been a little bit of a nicer move, obviously, in hindsight, to do that sort of wraparound move. Yourself down this ramp to maybe catch out the heroes up on this high ground, but it's also difficult to actually say. CIS Rejects, they had a good plan, they really execute because of a better plan from KP, and really that's what it comes down to. Split, good spread, Scardy over on the Slock, no Silver Edge actually. They feel that they've convincingly shut down this Phantom Assassin, but they don't need to get past her evasion just yet. She doesn't pose a threat. There is no threat from Artez right now. It's all about the big ultis from CIS Rejects. Maybe the cleave crit from the P8 will be a little bit annoying. But Ancient Apparition nearly has Ags done. Bone 7, he's got his Blink and Yule Scepter. Working on his next big item. And guess what? The hero that they see no threat from is actually caught in middle lane. With the Winter's Curse and Fiend's Grip on the Cancel, it's not going to be enough. They're all dead. The RP catches 4, but Bisa just battles through it all. They'll skewer them back and Iceberg blinks away. He knows he can't fight through this. Bisa, there's another one. Who can you find? Is there another? Shackle. Very close to catching Iceberg on the back end, but blink forward, Bone 7 with a Waning Rift. Full kill for Cancel.
Yeah, if that's the start of the fight, if a 4-man RP is the start of the fight, CIS Rejects are not looking that bad. they'd already used their Wyvern ulti. Queen of Pain wasn't able to get her ulti off. Pierre was already pretty much dead.
Dire's middle tower
And
has
they
fallen.
need the perfect initiation, and then to have the fights on their terms. It's the only chance that they have, and now it's not so dangerous for Kaipi to actually push for these objectives because that RP is down. That Winter's Curse is down.
Oh, Iceberg, he's blink forward aggressively, but a good Nightmare to come with me will stop any advance. KP and Visa. Holding his own up on the front lines, he's actually dropping relatively low. Be able to get himself away. It's bo3 blink, waiting Rift, jump out with the illusory orb, and always one of flies looking for the Fiend's Grip. No, he's not. Cooldown. He's looking for the Nightmare into jump, but they've got one ulti available, and that's your Queen of Pain Sonic Wave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
KP with the
I
fake
think-
back.
Yep.
Green coils on 2. Always want to fly, and Artez are both caught. The blink up onto high ground will save the PA for now. Oh, that shards. Almost. Hitting on in there. Visa gets dagger proc bashed. Oh, dear
Yeah.
me, Phantom Assassin.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, that's actually, to be honest, that's probably the most significant of that PA change. You could get an initiation like that. Actually, I mean, this game it's hardly going to matter, but I think Come With Me does go down at the top lane here. Yep, they're going to commit the Fiend's Grip. Too significant for his team. Maybe unnecessary, but not that significant. But yeah, going back to that PA, in a regular game where things are pretty even, or the PS team's doing well, and you buy into that bash or Abyssal Blade, being able to just ranged bash someone and just like cure your initiation that before you blink in someone's stunned, that's actually pretty cool, I think.
That's interesting from B. Sanjan Yasha. After Skadi, in fact. No Butterfly, no MKB, no Silver Edge. Right on in there. Holy crap, okay. Cancel finds the solo pick off on the Queen of Pain up at top.
Yeah, I think that Bisa just wants to be really tanky, because the only thing he's scared of dying to is a whole lot of AoE. The RP, the Quap ulti, the Wyvern ulti. And he's not really worried about attacks right now because PA is just not getting there yet.
I haven't taken racks just yet. I haven't got that one big hit. They don't have Aegis on the Wind Ranger. No, they don't have that one big up on CIS rejects. Dire still have all their ultis available, and slightly different to last game, scaling wise. Who do you think actually has the advantage? If we go into 50 minutes, 60 minutes, CIS rejects can hold their base without, maybe if they lose mid racks and that's it. Who do you actually favor here?
I actually probably favor CIS rejects, but it's not just a matter of holding, it's a matter of holding and catching up sufficiently, because if they hold and they keep getting further gapped, so right now I think, what, about 20k lead for KP? And if CIS rejects are in the game in 20 minutes time, but they're 40k behind, that's not going to be good enough. If instead they've switched from being 20k behind to maybe being 10k behind, then yes, I actually think that their lineup has... I mean, initially we were talking about them having more control, and I don't think they necessarily have a higher number of controlling abilities, but they have a bigger impact in their controlling abilities. And the later the game goes, if PA does have that farm, all it takes is one big RP, one Winter's Curse, and the entire enemy team could be blown up. But look, this is all very optimistic and hopeful for the side of CIS rejects, because so far KP have shown that they actually know how to quite clinically continue to extend their lead, make the right plays. They haven't walked into any too dangerous situations, and it kind of takes some mistakes on their part for CIS rejects to stay in the game long enough to be able to turn it around.
That's the thing though, CIS rejects, their controlling abilities kind of... It's like a tidal wave, right? It all just comes at once and smashes you into the ground if it lands. Whereas KP, their control and their damage is kind of little pokes and prods here and there, or at least that's what it sort of seems like, but the damage is definitely... it's pretty strong when it comes down to squishy heroes like the Wyvern and the Bane. But if CIS rejects can hit that tidal wave onto everyone, KP, then their village is crushed. They just get wiped off the face of the map. Whereas if KP have, all their huts and houses scattered around, and they can, try and dodge out and mitigate the full potential of that wave of damage and all from CIS rejects, then they can actually turn and fight and get themselves, pick themselves back up and throw out the good old damage from Ice Blast and Slug jumping forward with the Shadow Blade. It's...
So, item-wise, have you seen Cancel's actually about to pick up a Lincoln's? We'll have a lot of things that can block, but one of those things is just the PA's Stifling Dagger, which can be pretty spammed. I think even Winter Wyvern can just throw a Splinter Blast spammable, so I mean, I understand the desire to have that defensive ability to not get Fiend's Grip, to not get Winter's Curse, to not get Orchided by Quap. There's plenty of other things to trigger the Lincoln, so I'm not too convinced about that. On the Courier at the same time, I'm also seeing that Ancient Apparition has finished Aghanim Scepter, and that could be it. Like that, having that Ag's Ice Blast, if it hits well in the next fight, that could actually, at this point, have just as devastating effect as the big AoE LTs we've been talking about for CIS rejects all game.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Lincoln Sphere, I kind of feel that a Lotus Orb would be much better. Tusk a Lotus Orb, you bounce back the daggers, you bounce back the Winter's Curse, the Fiend's Grip, the Brain Saps. There's loads of stuff here to actually turn back onto CIS rejects pretty effectively. It's like you said, stopping one of these big spells, even if it does get popped out by either of the daggers from the PA or the Queen of Pain, it's still going to be worthwhile, especially in a long drawn-out fight when it comes back off cooldown, because you're not always going to be able to pop it with a dagger. You can throw the daggers out onto multiple heroes, just trying to slow them and keep yourself sort of, grasping at straws in these team fights to keep yourself going. Says,
yeah.
Where have you gone? Where have you hidden yourself? Next from the game.
Nearly got a BKB, and actually at this point there's not very much at all that KP do to control BKB target. So we spoke a lot about control, but PA does finish BKB, and both he and Quap have BKB. All of a sudden it really does look like a big RP could turn things around, because you're going to get a lot of time to cast your spells and get those hits off. But again, we're going to keep coming back to this RP situation or this Winter's Curse situation, and KP have not looked like they're likely to give a big RP in any kind of dangerous situation at all. The one big RP Guards got this game was already too late in the fight when his team was already half dead, getting destroyed. Couldn't make that impact.
Find out when Roshan respawns in about 50 seconds time. And that could be the sticking point for the next fight, because I don't feel KP really want to force themselves into the base without the Immortal. As long as they can keep their lane sort of pushed out, at the very least past the river, sort of this point here, in like an arc like this, then they control the majority of the Dire Jungle. They control, their half of the map pretty nicely. Limiting the farm out from CIS rejects is always going to be pretty vital, but Queen of Pain is always going to be looking to split push on the side lanes. Like tier 1 at bottom is really a great target for the Quap. Just down in this bottom lane and find that pick off. Get yourself a nice little bit of gold. Mid tier 1, lower on the HP as well. Could be backdoored here. CIS rejects, they've struggled to get past the river for a good 10 minutes or so. It's been incredibly difficult for them to actually get a grasp or a foothold on this game. John?
CIS rejects just got there was an Ice Blast up towards where Winter Wyvern's standing, and they dumped a bunch of Sentry Wards afterwards, thinking they must be able to see us, but actually the Ice Blast itself was just scouting.
Very sneaky. Outscore. Here's Gargoyle on the Cape. What's next for Goretz on the Magnus? Because BKB would be good. Stop him getting locked down as he jumps in. There's a fair amount of splash out, like Waning Rift is the big one, but Snowball and maybe a stray Shackle shot latches onto him. BKB could be good. Or do you want the Refresher Orb for him?
Refresher's a pretty big buy. It's always a question of if you think you'll get there or not. If he can get to Refresher, it means that he could be a bit more loose with his first ulti, just try to get 2 people, and it sets up to get another ulti, maybe a slightly bigger one. Otherwise I'd maybe look at something small and utility based, like maybe just get a Vlad's for the team, get a little bit more armor, lifesteal for your PA, damage. But if he's gonna save for something big, it's gotta be a, I don't know, BKB, a Hex, or a Refresh Orb. But I wouldn't be too surprised if he rather picks up something small in utility soon.
Like, Yule Scepter for me, Yules or Vlad's are going to be the sort of smaller incremental items that you can pick up now, and pretty happy in yourself with what you've got, but BKB I think is sort of the vital item here for him to survive team fight, unless he really feels he can get that double RP down and dumped onto a bunch of people. Because, you know, with the arcanes you can sustain the double RP with a refresher orb. Bot lane. Go. Actually grouping themselves up. Maybe they're starting to look towards this Roche pit, but bot lane tier 1 is the target, I think. Try and shove the lane, go through the Radiant jungle, and oh god, they're going to go into a 5v5 head-on clash here. Nobody knows it's coming. Nobody knows what's going on.
7's got a Lotus Orb.
Does?
7.
Oh, well, he's RP'd. Solo RP. Jump forward. Ice Blast in as well. And here we go. Hits them onto 3. No Fiend's Grip on to come with me. The Sonic Wave across from Iceberg. Who the hell's winning this fight? The Wind Ranger's dishing out so much damage. Artez already dropping low to 100 HP and finished off by the Ice Blast Shatter. Cancel has cleared up. And this might just be game. With a Shackle onto Iceberg, that's pretty much going to be a 5-man wipe. Magnus got himself back to base. Just about. But the Wind Ranger. The Slark.
Block pretty much wasn't in that fight. He arrived right at the end. He like cleaned up the Bane Elemental, but it's pretty bad if Slark is the most farmed hero by far in the game and can't even win that fight against this team when he's not there. They nearly killed bo3 without him getting anything off, and it might have been quite significant if they did, but bo3 gets a bunch of spells off before he dies, and they blew the RP and the Sonic Wave on him. They do still have the Winter's Curse, but I don't see what it's going to do here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. They haven't really got too much follow-up. And Bisa has already cleared out melee racks at mid. Vanscore still holding his own, defending the ranged racks. It's got to be Roshan now. Respawns in about a minute's time, and KP will be going off to look for it.
And I did see Vanscore just casually throwing over Splint Blast that cancel, saying, I can see you have a Lincoln's. I will disable that. But it's a small victory in the scale of things here to be able to disable Wind Ranger's Lincoln's.
We're going to go for round 2. Correct, Artesanal is on a fly, they've grouped up again. They're just trying to keep this Empower up on the Phantom Assassin. They are.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're thinking. Next time PA is going to get more crits and more bashes, and
Bisa walks into the pit. Iceberg and Vanscore up on the high ground.
Haste.
So, trying in 10 seconds time. Bones.
Vanscore has to TP out because he's stuck here.
And he could have walked back into the pit. Back towards it. bo3. Stay there for another couple of seconds. No, you can't do this to me. Every game. Radiant notes here. Iceberg tells Goratz they scattered out, so they know that Roshan's here. Shackle Shot will pop the spell block out, but Bisa with a basher. Straight on into the pit, and CISR rejects. Goratz was stuck up on top of the cliff. They've got to make their move now. Roshan is dropping too quickly for them to, dilly-dally and stall this up. Are they not contesting? Can they hold up against Aegis on the Slark or the Wind Ranger?
Probably not. All things are possible in this game that we call Dota 2. Might see the entire KP dive to the enemy fountain, get RP'd and skewered and pulled together. Probably not. I think it's going to be a very difficult hold. And even if CIS rejects lose the fight, if their base stays alive here, it'll probably be a victory for them.
Oh, here we go.
That's
KP on the rampage up. Bisa. No Aegis, nothing on him, but Vanscore is already dead. Finished off. No, the Nightmare. Actually, on 10 HP, but Power Shot secures it. There we go. So no Winter Wyvern, no Winter's Curse, no big ultimate out from your Flying Dragon Ice Lady. Always want to fly an Iceberg, trying to hold the line, but the blink forward again. Cancel. No Shackle Shot this time. Not latching anyway. Now Sigil will give vision, slow them down a little bit. And the Wind Ranger with the Focus Fire and the Wind Run with that Aegis up as well is pretty happy to go stand up on high ground. Isn't pressured or hurt too much by any of the spam thrown out by the CIS Redux team. Oh, Goretz tried.
Oh, Bisa's been caught mid lane.
You have not succeeded. Yeah, Slog, but he still gets his ulti off. Tug packs and turns around the BKBs and pop. And Beasta, one hit bash there. Always want to fly, dropping low. Beasta though hit down, and he's got vision of him. They found him, but the shotgun shot out from cancel 1. There's a 2. Iceberg dead, down and out. Buyback available though. As they look for 3. Artes. Curse turns it back, and Artes is going to fight this, I think. Turn back onto Cancel, but the Aegis is up. The MKB's there as well. And Cancel shreds him, rips him to pieces. Finds another with Iceberg dropping low. He turns back to focus fire him down as well. Stunned by the dagger or something along those lines, but GG is called. CIS reject, they tap out, and game number 3, guys, coming up. They tie it up 1-1.
Doing those best of 2s anymore, right?
Nope.
Two very one-sided games in opposite directions. I do feel like it's the story of a lot of series that I've watched recently. See a third game that's very decisive, and I wonder whether the third game might not start at a slower pace, because that's often what we see if we have a series that starts with 2 games, one-sided stomps. Both teams are maybe a little bit more cautious going into the deciding game. I'm not too sure though. Neither of these teams seem the type of team to be cautious ever.
Very aggressive. Kaipi in game 1 was just, balls out. We're gonna put Undying mid and just dive him onto your tower pretty much, even if he gets tossed back by a tiny. Game 2, aggressive dual lane pretty much won them the game. Honestly, that's Husk plus Puck on the dual off lane. Crushed Phantom Assassin pretty handily.